A boom, boom, boom. Seth and Kash, Nature Stash. Seth and Kash, Nature Stash. Yeah. Garden update. Finally got everything into the pots. So all these ones will go into bigger bags a bit later, but for now at least they've got more soil to feed on and grow bigger. And everything else is looking really healthy. And we're going to eat the first bits of our summer garden this week. We've got lettuces ready to go, and the wombox. And all you do, you pick the bigger outside leaves. So you see that? So that's kind of on the outside. If we want to eat some of this, we'd probably just pick that leaf and a few of the outside ones, and then the ones in the middle get bigger and go towards the outside, and we just keep picking them all summer long. Over there is my veggie patch. Whoa, zoom out, not in. And over here is Ilse's veggie patch, which we call June's patch, and I'll show you why. It's because it was here when we got here. Well, all this structure was here. There was no veggies growing. We've had to tear it all up and start afresh, but it's called June's patch because a lady called June used to live here. And there's her sign, which has been upside down since we got here, and we kind of like it that way. Apparently June was lovely and she grew veggies, but the problem here is that June probably didn't realise when she first got here, this part of the yard gets no sun in winter. It's getting sun now, but during winter it gets absolutely no sun. In fact, from the edge of this house right here all the way back gets 0 hours of sunlight for about 4 months of the year, so quite a big chunk of the year. So there's a reason why that house is built there, and there's a reason why we're going to grow tomatoes. This is going to be Ilse's tomato factory, she's called it, because tomatoes grow in summer, and so she's going to rip out all that spinach that's almost been knocked over by the wind, and it's going to become a tomato factory. Wow, look at those big ones. We're going to blanch them, which is just put them quickly into boiling water and then cool them off and freeze them, and we can hopefully use them for months to come.
Up to 12 months.
Up to 12 months, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Hey fellas, thanks for your questions. Kash, you wanted to know, are there any snakes in Tasmania? There are. There's this one. There's this one. And there's this one. He's the most dangerous. And we have him around here. Our neighbours saw some in our yard right there on the driveway. Where is it? Actually, right there at the bottom of the driveway. They saw a big one and we weren't here. Yeah, I want to see a tiger snake soon, hopefully at a safe distance. And Sethy, you wanted to know, are there any predators in Tasmania? Well, there actually are heaps and heaps. I mean, you've seen a bunch already. Things like the echidna, he's a predator. He hunts ants all day. A lot of the birds you've seen are predators. A lot of them catch bees and insects. The eagle that you saw, the wedge-tailed eagle, regularly pick up lambs, like baby sheep, from around this area. They've even been known to take little cats or dogs, so they're definitely predators. But in terms of big carnivores, other than the wedge-tailed eagle, that'd be the biggest carnivore. Other than that, the quoll is the next biggest. So there is an eastern quoll and a spotted-tailed quoll. I have seen a couple of them on the road late at night, just for a brief moment before they run off the road. The spotted ones are really cool looking. They're pretty small, but their older cousin, the thylacine or the Tasmanian tiger, that used to be the top predator. And unfortunately, when white people turned up, they got sick of it killing the sheep, and they got rid of all of them. Or did they? So yeah, that's June's patch. That's a pile of dirt on the ground. That is a water tank. This I think they call a clothesline. Yeah, that's a clothesline I think. And this over here is what we call the view spot, because it's got an amazing view. And what we're looking at is the channel, which I mentioned last week, that body of water, and then behind that is Bruny Island. So boys, you might remember I was telling you about the importance of Bruny Island for a couple of really endangered bird species. There's the 40-spotted pardalote, who's this tiny little guy. There's about 1,000 of them left in the wild, and Ilsa and I were lucky enough to see them in May this year. We went over there to the Inala Nature Sanctuary. It's this big area of untouched bushland, and it's really important for those birds. And they are actually making a good comeback. They seem to be growing every year in population. And the other one though that's really in bad trouble is the swift parrot. The scientists estimate that there's less than 300 of them left. And they're the most beautiful looking parrot. They have this amazing sort of streamlined look about them. They're the fastest parrot in the world. They fly through the air like jet planes, and they look so beautiful when they fly. I've only ever seen photos and footage, but I mean, you know, I'd love to see one in real life. But the odds of seeing one, Bruny is such a big island and there's only 300 of them. I guess I'll probably never see one. Oh well, I guess I'll never get to see a swift parrot unless I really go and look for one on Bruny Island. But yeah, I have to get really lucky to see one. Oh well, I guess I'll just be sad because I don't get to see a swiftie. I'll just stay at home this weekend and do nothing. Oh, hang on. What's this? Spot a swiftie on Bruny field trip. What's that doing sitting on the bed? 26th of November? That's this Saturday. We need a ticket, boys. We need a ticket. We need a ticket. We need a ticket. We better go on the computer and get a ticket. Boys, what's the password? Bruny Island Swift Parrot Field Trip. 2 tickets for Dane Wright. Huh. That was lucky. We're going to Bruny Island.
We're going to Bruny Island. We're going to Bruny Island. We're going to do.
So here we are on the Bruny Island ferry. There's Kettering back there. Our place is over there somewhere. Not one of the ones you can see, but it's just down hidden in there. And then this is the ferry. Right. There's our car. There's our Swift Parrot sticker. So here we are, boys, on South Bruny, and it's a really clear day, and we can see all the way over to the Southwest National Park, and there's actually snow on top of the mountains over there. Look at that. We're 1 week away from summer officially starting, and there's snow on the mountains. And over there, the Southwest National Park, it's one of the great wilderness areas left on Earth. It's almost completely untouched, and it's a huge area, and it's a completely unique ecosystem, and I reckon there might even be Tassie tigers still over there.
Buds on the end, and some of them have one. But I think maybe, yeah, the ones that are at the very end seem to have 3. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe? Yeah. Because then it will turn into another. Because it'll do that. Oh, you're smart. Keep going. Yeah, I get it. We don't have top predators. So our old top predator, who's now extinct, was the Tasmanian tiger. But we've never had dingoes, we've never had foxes, we've never had things that are more likely to predate on something that stands out, like a white wallaby. So it's never been a negative trait, so they can pass it on without fearing that that's going to lead to their offspring dying. Our only blue-footed lizard is Tasmania, come around this side if you're not seeing, and just look through the stalks of the bracken. Beautiful. It went beep, 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 beep. Parrots mainly call when they're moving. So often if they go beep, 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 you know they're about to fly. And then beep, 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 and they're off across the sky. But when they're just in the tree with each other, just little chats, little tiny squawks, just I'm here, you're there, good flower here, leave me alone, all the little backs and forth. But usually it's the I'm heading off across the mountain is your big call as you go.
So look boys, we've finished at the nature sanctuary, the nature reserve, and we're now over at Adventure Bay, which is on Bruny Island. And all the scientists at the nature reserve have told us that this is where the swift parrots are right now. We did see two at the nature reserve, but they were so far up in the tree that we couldn't really see them very well. But I think we're about to see some swifties.
They're just feeding on pollen and then as the first, so swift parrots could be a great way of pollinating the orchid.
Look at them all. Well, that's where we're going to leave it this week, boys. How cool is that to see swift parrots? I couldn't believe it. I really didn't think we had much of a chance. And not only did we see them, we saw 20 of them in the sky at once. It must have been such a special day because there was 3 scientists there who've, dedicated their lives to helping the swift parrot, and I could see they were getting emotional and really excited. So I think to see that many in the sky at once, I mean, that's nearly 10% of the population. The scientists think there are 300 left. We saw 20. That's nearly 10%. So that's pretty amazing, and it was very exciting. It was also a little bit sad. I really hope we weren't seeing the last of the swift parrots. But the good news is it's a great year on Bruny. There's lots and lots of flowers for them to feed on. So they can safely build their nests on Bruny and feed their chicks without having to worry about the sugar gliders, which is great. But I just want to show you one more thing before we go. The people at the sanctuary gave us a blue gum seedling. Now, the swift parrots only feed on 2 types of trees. They feed on the flowers of two types of eucalyptus, and the blue gum is the main one. So we're going to plant this in our garden, and it's going to grow very slowly, and it might live for 100, 200, 300 years, who knows. And maybe one day, in a hollow in the side of the tree, a swift parrot will build a nest and have some babies. Who knows? We can only hope, eh? I hope you enjoyed the episode, boys. I love you. I had a great time making it. And let me know if you have any questions for next week. It can be questions about this episode. It can be questions about anything, really. Let me know, and I'll see you next week.